right, welcome to the second review of the evening. Sorry about the delay. We had a bit of an issue setting up. Mainly the game was uncooperative, so we got trailer footage for this one.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed, the game is called My Friend is a Raven, and friend is a curious term. Like, um, because I'm not, you know,
Apparently, you have a troubled history with this Raven. There are literally two characters in this game.
yeah, you and the
There's you, who lives in this post-apocalyptic, terrible situation, and
By
has
way
to
of
wear a plague
Victorian
doctor
London.
suit. Huh?
By way of Victorian London.
Yeah.
Yep.
And a Raven who doesn't even look entirely real.
Well, I mean, I think that's one of the central conceits of the game. Is the Raven real, or is it a trick of your mind?
Indeed.
Like, I don't know, the Raven ate the seeds. Seems real. That would indicate realness to me.
But were the seeds even real in the first place?
Oh, God.
This is one of those games that could go that direction. You know,
I mean, and the seeds aren't the only thing the Raven can eat. There are like 4 endings, and they pretty much just depend on what you feed the Raven.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because this game is really, really, really. This is the shortest adventure game I've ever played. I think it's almost the shortest adventure game possible, while still actually being an adventure game. You've got a house with about 4 rooms. There are a total of 4 items you can pick up, of which there is in fact a inventory combination puzzle, although it's automatic if you get the things. And there's 1 other character to talk to.
Yeah, I think this is about the shortest adventure game I've played since last year's War Room. That was another freeware adventure game that could be completed in about half an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But, yeah, there's not a lot to talk about in terms of, like actual mechanics or, areas, but that's not the point. This is more a psychological experiment, more than anything else.
And there's 1 other puzzle, too, that is optional.
What was that? I think I passed that.
It's the clock.
Oh, yeah.
There's a clock that you can set to a certain thing, and there's a piece of paper that'll tell you what to set the clock to solve the puzzle.
Yeah, it's the most bare bones elements of an adventure game.
Mm-hmm.
But once again, it's a freeware title, and it's going more for atmosphere and psychological horror and all that jazz, rather than figure out a bunch of puzzles and telling a more conventional narrative. At least that was my interpretation. And this also seems to be another warm-up act, like War Room was, for another game that is coming this year. In this case, this seems to be maybe not a direct prelude, but it's an appetizer for a thing called My Beautiful Paper Smile, which, as of this recording, is not out yet. So with that in mind, what did you guys think of this as an experience?
The aesthetic is very creepy, which is clearly intentional.
Yeah, I like the art style, the hand drawn.
Yeah,
it's almost
sketch like.
Yeah, somewhere between a sketch and a woodcut.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the thing that really attracted me to this game in the first place. It's the art style. It's it's got a bit of flavor that's overdone in terms of horror games, but it's doing it in an art style that I can't say is completely unique, but is rare enough where it stands out. It's also got some pretty good lighting effects.
Yeah, really good lighting effects. Yeah.
Oh, and while the length of any given playthrough is the same, I wasn't sure if I clarified this. There are 4 different endings depending on Well, what you feed the raven, and also whether or not you see one of the things.
Mm-hmm. And you know, like I said, it's also and you know, all 4 endings will unveil the complete story. You know, I didn't really have time to delve into all 4 endings.
It doesn't tell you that much more.
Yeah, but I mean, this is what the bullet points say. You know, it's just, this is one of those games where you're never going to be told the entire story. It's not, you know, everything here is real. You know, it's not a conventional narrative.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
it's kind of like an Edgar Allan Poe story, honestly. Everything's up for interpretation.
You know, once again, going to games we have reviewed and talked about in the recent times, it reminds me of Distraint. Maybe not like art style or anything like that, because, you know, in those terms, there's very different games, but, you know, the commonality is, you know, you got these thematic elements happening, and is it all in your mind?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, and in terms of, is this worth checking out? I'd say so. You know, it's free. You're probably going to spend, you know, if you do everything, maybe an hour at most.
I would say like half an hour, unless you're really bad at puzzles.
Yeah. But yeah, I'd give this a recommend, which, you know, that's really where this falls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Time. Well, what about you guys?
Yeah, I'd recommend it for a creepy story full with.
Yeah, it is just creepy. It doesn't have any like actual jump scares or anything. So.
Yeah.
It's all about the atmosphere.
Yeah, pretty much. Like I already referenced, if like stuff like Edgar Allan Poe or something like that, like creepy stories.
I mean, there's a fucking raven in it.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, so yeah, that'll about do it for our review of My Friend is Raven. Be sure to tune in after the break as we'll be talking about Queen's Wish: The Conqueror.